The views on a Breath of Fresh Air podcast reflects the parties involved, and we encourage you all to use it as a conversational tool that will lead to personal studies of your own.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome to a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz Gay. As a young person, Christianity can be so foggy, like smoke in the mirrors and so unclear. But we're here to bring you a breath of fresh air. Welcome to 2024 and a special New Year's episode. In this episode, we delve into the essentials of Christians need to be aware of in today's world, navigating challenges, embracing faith, and finding strength in prayer. Join us as we set the tone for the year ahead, blending inspiration and guidance for a purposeful journey. This New Year's guide where faith meets the future and prayers light the way. As always, be blessed and enjoy. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts,
Nakhaz Gay.
and Earl Roberts, and welcome to 2024. God is good. We made it to another year. Hopefully
Amen.
everyone there enjoyed their holiday season, Christmas, New Year's. For the people who have Boxing Day in there, hopefully you enjoy Boxing Day too. How are your holidays, man?
My holidays was good until I contracted an illness called COVID. Right now, this is my flu game once again. But it was good though, bro. I spent a week in North Carolina with my in-laws, and then I spent the week after Christmas up until New Year's Eve with my family in Atlanta. Got to meet my new nephew, 4 months old, and two of my other nephew, who's about to be 3. It was a lot of excitement, you know.
You about to be 3. That's so crazy.
I'm telling you, bro.
Time is flying.
I know, bro. So much energy. Shy at first, and then he just want to play with you the rest of the time.
So little kids have no concept of time or energy, bro.
No.
They're like, "Oh, you been playing? Oh, yo, we playing. This
No,
ain't
and
stop."
we playing until you pressure me not to play because I ain't stopping. Kids don't stop, bro. Why? Why don't they stop? Like,
They don't.
I was playing this. He have these like toy swords. He think they sticks or whatever, right? So we doing this game where you can't touch each other with it, right? So I sitting down, I in a comfortable position, and I touching him, or he touching me, and then he running away, coming back and trying to do it again. So I sitting down, so I'm not I'm not using much energy. You understand what I'm saying? He running back and forth. So I like, bro, surely he will get tired before I do. But boy, was I wrong. I still was wrong. You know, and I was like, boy, you still going? You ain't win yet? I let it go on a time where like 10 minutes straight, I just keep letting him win. I just, oh, you got me. He run, come on. Oh, you got me. You run, come on. Oh, you got me. But
And
yeah,
it's fun for him now. He winning now.
for real. He winning. He trying to keep the streak going. But yeah, they don't stop.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, how was your holidays?
Oh, it was good. Technically still in the Bahamas. Shoot, even when we drop this episode, I'll still be in the Bahamas. But yeah, man, it's good, man. It's good. Like, always good to come back home and spend time with family, spend time with friends who still here. Like, it's always a good time to be in the islands, man. Always a good time. Got to, go to Chunkanu, both Boxing Day and New Year's Day. Saxon's 2 years, two champs, but
I don't pull.
my brother is happy because he rushes with Saxon, so he's super happy.
That's what's up.
But yeah, man, it was a good holiday season, man. It was a good time.
Don't know that's a Caribbean festival. It's most popular in the Bahamas, though. You know, it's from African descent, but you know we take it very seriously in the Bahamas.
We do it big.
Yeah, we take it very, very seriously. You know.
But so, yeah, man. So it was good. It was good. So I mean, this episode, like but the audience and they'll probably see from the title, like we take a suggestion from one of our listeners who say, hey, for the New Year's, you guys should do like a New Year's episode type thing. And so, who knows, this episode may be long, it may be short. We'll see how it goes, but we're just going to like talk about stuff that's
Yep.
related to God and, you know, what a new year entails and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, man.
All right. So, yeah. Anyway, I remember like last episode or maybe 2 episodes ago, we was talking about resolutions.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned one of my resolutions is to pray long,
Yes.
right? I came across this video. It was a video of an African guy. He was born into witchcraft. Did I mention this on the pod?
I think you started to mention this. Yeah, I think that's how you got into the pray long thing.
Right.
Yeah.
He dropped another video. I ain't even watched the video. But the caption, you know, when you're on YouTube, you have to put some clickbaity thing or whatever, right? But when you watch it, it ain't gimmicky at all. But the caption said, I prayed for 32 days for an autistic child, and this happened, right? And that really intrigued me because I think to myself now, in the back of my mind, and this shows you the limitations of my faith. In the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, what could happen, bro? Like, you prayed for 32 days for someone who has autism. Understand? This is like a biological thing that's happened to them. You know what I'm saying? That they're born with, you know? What could happen? Now, I don't have an answer to what actually happened when this guy prayed. I believe you could assume what's happening because this guy speaks highly of prayer and he's very serious about prayer. But it made me wonder, bro. You know the song Take It to the Lord in Prayer?
Mm-hmm.
And it says, some things we have not because we ask not.
Ask not. Yep.
Excuse me. I thought about that deeply because I'm like, yo, I don't know the percentage, but a lot of people have relatives that have some type of learning deficiency or that may have autism or maybe handicapped in some type of way, or maybe just have some type of impairment. Have we fervently prayed for them to be restored? Or do we believe that when Jesus and the disciples healed people, that was only limited to Jesus and the disciples? You understand?
You got something else?
No, go on.
No, I'm like, the next way to ask it is, do you believe God has the power to answer your prayer?
Yes.
To grant your request? Because it's interesting, right? Because, I mean, like, a lot of times we pray for things just to say we prayed for it, but do you actually believe what you're praying for is possible? And I think that's a big difference. Because when you actually start examining it, your doubtfulness creeps into your prayers, and God understands that instantly. You're asking for something that you don't even believe is possible. Think about the stories in the Bible, man, with the centurion. When the centurion asked Jesus to heal his daughter, the centurion already knew that Jesus had the power to do what he was asking him to do. And he was a Roman centurion.
Yep.
And Jesus was like, yo, your faith is incredible. Like the man said, you don't even have to come. Just say the word and I know my daughter will be healed. Think about it, that was a prayer. Essentially, he was asking God, he was bringing his petition to God and asking him to grant his request. And God said, bro, by your faith, your daughter will be healed. The woman with the issue of blood, she said, I don't even have to like talk to him. I don't even want to disturb him. I just want to touch the hem of his garment, and I know I can be healed. You know what I'm saying? So, and again, so it's like a lot of the, like, man, I was reading a devotional a couple of days ago, and it was talking about prayer, ironically. Didn't really expect to talk about prayer this much, but hey, you know, God works in mysterious ways, or God, you know, sets things up for things to happen. I'm just telling someone that too. But man, the devotion was about this woman, this lady who had cancer, man, and when she got her diagnosis, she was like running to the pastor and just asking, like, yo, does prayer work? Does prayer work? Like, does prayer work? And this is a woman who was a Christian, but like in getting that diagnosis, she was so distraught. She was like, just earnestly asking the pastor, like, does prayer actually work? Right? And the pastor was like, it was like he was stumbling back because he wrote the devotion. He was like, well, it's so interesting in these predicaments when someone asks you a question like this, because you know they're coming from a place of hurt and not really disbelief, but they're like, how can God allow something like this to happen to them? Right? And the pastor said, yeah, prayer does work. And fast forward the story, like the woman was able to like get the treatment and that cancer went into remission, went away. and it probably didn't come back, right? And then the pastor asked a few years later, so did you get your answer? Prayer works. And the woman said, prayer is something we do, but at the end of the day, God works based on our faith.
Mm.
And I'm like, and going back to your original point, have you fervently prayed? And my part is like, did you actually believe? Because you can do all the actions all you want, but if your faith isn't there, then what are you praying for? Because you're asking God to do something that you don't even think is possible, and God's like, why am I going to do it if you don't even believe it? I can do it.
And so watch this, right? A lot of times when I pray, so I've been praying for, people I know that have, disabilities and autism. I have a nephew who's not diagnosed specifically with it, you understand, but he has some disability. And I've been praying for him, and in the back of my mind, it's like, bro, it's done. Like, there's nothing that can happen. I remember one time, our friend who had passed away 10 years ago. Excuse me.
That's still wild to me.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. And the night it happened, when they were saying he's pronounced dead, that night I prayed that the Lord bring him back to life, bro. And I felt like I had faith, that it would happen, But I think that, to me, like to a lot of people, that would be a long shot, because you asking the dead to come back to life, bro. Like, it's certain things that in our minds, let me speak for myself. It's certain things that in my mind only exist in the Bible, but it don't exist in the world we live in. It's like we lost a bridge that connects the spiritual powers of today to the spiritual powers of the Bible. But I want to read a text, and my mother used to, in my family, there are things that we prayed for as a routine. Like how you say, let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart be acceptable in thy sight, etc. Like, you might have a type of prayer that you just pray every day just because, like, at lunchtime, God is good, God is great, let us thank him for our food. Like, habitually you pray this thing, right? In our family, our prayer requests started to become attached to our habitual prayers. So there are things that for years we prayed for, that until it happened, that was just a part of the prayer. You understand what I'm saying? So my mother used to try to teach us about the persistent widow, right? Because in the illustration she's trying to make is, Jesus says to pray continuously, like don't stop praying. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you could even, in this scenario, you could nag God enough to the point where he say, all right, I'll give this to you, regardless if your faith is there or whatever. You understand? So let me read the text. So Genesis 18, verse 1, it says, then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up.
Which verse you say? You think you just say Genesis?
Oh, I meant Luke.
Yeah, I was like, hold on now.
Thank you, bro. Luke 18. Bro, I tell you, I ended the weather a little bit, bro. I'll tell you things happening. But Luke, where Genesis come from?
I don't know.
I'm upset. Anyway, Luke 18, 1 through 8, right? Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. So to me, this is the synopsis in verse 1 already, right? Always pray, do not give up. Facts. That's the lesson that Jesus was trying to teach his disciples, and we are his disciples, his children, etc. Excuse me. It says, he said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, grant me justice against my adversary. So now this man, he don't have no moral compass. Justice, it don't behoove me to care about you and justice. You're a widow, you understand? And for context, a person who was a widow at the time, they were less valuable, because during this time, your lineage was tied to your man and to your son, etc. When somebody is a widow, that means they are somebody who, is not a virgin anymore, will probably never remarry. You understand what I'm saying? And they don't have their husband anymore. So when they pass away, their lineage is done. You understand what I'm saying? And so they deem that as less valuable during that time. So there's someone who, when you remember that story when Jesus say, because you haven't done to the least of these, my brethren, you have not done it unto me. This is someone who is seen like lesser than in society because of circumstance. And so why should this king or this judge who does not fear God, why should I care about you, right? So he sets up the story. And verse 4, it says, for some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, this is the judge talking, even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, this is the New King James Version, by the way, because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice so that she won't eventually come and attack me. Excuse me. And the Lord said, listen to what the unjust judge says. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, you good, man.
Listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth? Your point. Faith is always, without faith, it's impossible to please God.
Impossible.
That's facts. So faith is a key ingredient. You can't lack that. You understand what I'm saying? You need to work on our faith. But at the same time, even the unjust judge who have nothing to gain for real from helping you out, because of persistence, he would find it in his best interest to help, right? So now, when it comes to your prayer requests, right? I can't speak for everybody else's prayer life because I really do. Prayer is something that's so personal. Like I really can't gauge how others pray. Like I don't know Earl's prayer habits. I don't know how long you pray, the words you use, etc. Right? But me, I know for a fact that a lot of times when I think pray, I think about, oh, I'm praying for you, right? Somebody say they sick or whatever. I'm praying for you. I might pray for you right then and there. I might think about you later on. It ain't a prayer. It's no intentionality. You understand? I might have a situation that is like very serious and important for me, very forthcoming for me, right? But I'm worrying about it. But I think I'm in a spiritual place. I'm not actually saying, God, do this, that, and the third, right? So sometimes I even say, bro, I've been praying for this for a long time, but I don't even really mean I've been praying for this, bro. I've been thinking about this, and that's the truth. And I feel like that is a fault of mine, and that is laziness in my prayer life. So when it comes to my New Year goal, prayer is like the biggest thing for me. Mm-hmm. I know too many people who do not truly have faith in prayer. Like you have faith in God. We know that God can do things when he sees fit. But we do not see the correlation of me asking God to do this and God requesting it and God answering it. We might feel like, oh, God doesn't do it because I'm not worthy. You understand what I'm saying? Or God is telling me no. Or God does not care. You know, especially when you hear about people talking about the black community. Oh, the black community, they go to church all the time. They give money to the preachers and they still broke. Da, 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 da. The relationship between God and people who like poor and, you know, disenfranchised and stuff like that. It's a disconnect as to what God would give to them. But I feel like prayer is the bridge between all of these things, bro. If we consistently pray, no good thing will God withhold from us. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like God has the power to reverse our circumstance, you know what I'm saying, to elevate us, to bless us with the spouse that we want. You understand what I'm saying? To do these things. But at the end of the day, why are we doing this and where's our faith? And when I say where's our faith, how consistently have we been praying for this? Do we pray for this once a day, once a week, multiple times a day? Do we pray for it once and then say, oh, God ain't do it? You understand? So I want to put these things to the test and actually see the power of prayer for real, you know?
No, I mean, and it's a good thing to do, man, because think about it. Like, think about how God blesses us currently. And I don't want to call them side blessings, but it's like, he blesses us just because of his goodness, not because of anything we have done or asked for. You know what I'm saying? It's like he still knows the desires of our hearts. Some things he grants us. Like we both got homes in like 2022. Dang, it's almost going on 2 years now. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, like all of us, like in our friend group, almost like got like different jobs, different promotions, that kind of stuff. Like God, and it's because of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, wasn't anything we did particularly, you know, we might have had like a prayer like, hey, God, you know, kind of looking for this stuff. He made a way. But imagine how much more God can do when you actually wholeheartedly have the faith that he can do it and actually ask for it and actually pray for it for real, like with the utmost intentionality. And that's kind of something I'm also like have on my faith goals this year too. Like more intentional with prayer, more intentionality with like actually trusting God. I mean, I've talked about this several times in the podcast, but actually like turning stuff that I know I have full control over, turning those over to God, because those are the hardest things to turn over. Like, and that's just something I know I struggle with. Like, I know I got this, but yet I'm still going to relinquish it to God and see how much better that God can handle these other aspects of my life better than me, and actually see how that plays out.
Yeah. So in terms of what's it called? New Year's resolutions. You know, some people are against New Year's. They do not like New Year's resolution because they feel like it's pretentious or it's fake. I love it though, because whatever constrains you to try or to start something, I'm with. You know what I mean? As long as it's healthy. Even if you fooling yourself for these next 2 weeks.
Because what, National Quotas Day is on like in 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah. National Quitter's Day. That's when a lot of people backtrack. Even if you fooling yourself for these 2 weeks or however short term it is, I'd rather you would have tried and failed than to not try at all, because you learn from your mistakes. If you never make the mistakes, you never get to learn from them, you know? And so last year, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was about 40 pounds heavier than I am now, honestly. And I was saying, I can hit it hard this year. You understand? Weight goals, XYZ. A year ago, did I think that I would be where I am right now in terms of progress? No, I thought I would have progressed much more. But I am thankful that I have not backtracked.
Exactly.
So, you understand what I'm saying? So it's like, I was playing around 270 last year. You know, my ideal weight is like 190. You know, that's when I athletic and I just feel in my prime or whatever. And so now I'm like 230. I'm around there. So in my mind, I would have dropped 70 in a year. No, I struggled to drop that 40. I struggled, bro, the whole time. And I never stopped working out. That's the crazy thing. Until I got injured, I never stopped working out. I consistently, but I had bad habits with my diet. However, now I get to build this New Year's resolution, giving me another push. If I do what I did last year, I would have met my goal now. You understand what I'm saying? So I went for 70 last year. I only hit 40. If I was to do that again this year, I would exceed my goal. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, they say delayed, not denied, bro. Sometimes your results are delayed. But the problem is, some of us are in our own way because we don't even try. We don't even make that attempt. If a new year or a birthday or whatever gives you the inspiration to actually attempt, I support it. And I feel like you should too. You shouldn't count yourself out thinking that, I'm going to quit after 2 weeks. Even if you quit after 2 weeks, bounce back a month later, you know what I'm saying? And try again for another 2 weeks. So,
and I think the problem with New Year's resolutions is that a lot of people just write them down or say something and they don't look at it ever again for the rest of the year. I think like that's the main problem. That's why people feel like they're so pretentious. Like me personally, I don't think you have to wait until the new year or any specific time to actually start a new endeavor or start something. But the good thing about it is people just have it as a mental barrier or a mental goal post in their minds. Like, for the new year, I'm going to do this, or I want to do these things in the upcoming 12 months. But to me, in my limited knowledge, I just think it's always good to like write them down and then just revisit them. And like check back in with yourself, like at the end of every quarter, at the end of every month, even sometimes at the end of the week, but sometimes it might be too much for people. But like, don't forget what you wanted to do or what you wanted to accomplish. Because like, don't just say, hey, I want to start a business this year or by March, and March rolls around, you don't do anything, but then you look back and say, I'll just do it whenever. It's like, no, check back in, like see what you're going, track your progress. Hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. Have I lost any pounds in this time? Can I change something? Is my diet needs to be tweaked? Do I need to work out a little bit more? Like, was I work like just take an assessment, because again, like faith without works is dead. You can still pray for something, but you still got to do some of the work. Like, and That's what a lot of people just fall short. Just write it down. It sounds cute for like a week or two, and then they go back to following their same habits. Like it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. So I mean, like if you're doing something, you should at least stick with it for at least a month
3 weeks.
consistently.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because those first couple of weeks, it's your body and your brain just trying to even get to the mode to that what you actually enjoy doing it or actually want to do it. Like, so you can't even really assess something until like the second month. Because the first month is you just even trying to form the habit, the skill set, just to even do what you want to do. You ain't even perfecting nothing. You're just trying to like force yourself to show up to the gym if you're, if you're going to work out every day. Like half of the time, oh crap, I got to show up to the gym. Oh, I got to do these exercises. You don't even form a routine. Like half of the battle is just like showing up.
Yeah.
Once you get past that initial hurdle, then you can start doing everything. So like that first month, you ain't even really gonna see no progress for real. You might feel a little bit better, but you gotta like, like
Don't
put in the work and put in
underestimate.
the time.
Right. Don't underestimate the power of a baby step.
For
You
real.
understand what I'm saying? Like, baby, see, I feel like it's especially in terms of like finance and financial literacy is the buzzword people like to say. Baby steps, bro. That's your best friend, bro. A lot of people feel like they could yield this big return. You understand what I'm saying? But even if you yield a return, that's a oh, okay. Now let's do that again. Let's do that again. Now let's double that X, Y, Z. Like a lot of things that held me back was thinking, oh, it ain't worth my time. But the old folks say a penny saved is a penny earned. You understand what I'm saying? If I could save this dollar, that would be equivalent to me making an extra dollar under normal circumstances. You know what I'm saying? So
For real.
these baby steps, you take enough baby steps, before you know it, you might look back and not even realize how far along you've actually traveled.
Exactly. Exactly. So I mean, like, yeah, like that's one of the good things about like the new year. And then also too, it's like a new year to see how God is going to bless you. Like, what is it in Lamentations, where you get like the greatest like faithfulness psalm, but like every morning, like
Oh yeah,
Lamentations
Lamentations. Yeah.
3 in the 20s, but like morning after morning, new mercies I see, greatest thy faithfulness. And like God is a God who wants to bless us. He wants to give us the desires of our hearts, as long as they're according to his will. But like he isn't up there just saying, oh no, I'm gonna just deny you this, deny you this, deny you this. Like God is a God who wants to bless us. Like the Bible shows, like every morning there's new mercies, there's new blessings, there's new opportunities for us. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of awesome that we started this podcast just talking about the power of prayer. I mean, because I think that's a powerful thing. And man, like we were talking off part, like how this year already started off with a bang. You already had earthquakes in Japan. You already have people flying over benches. You already have people not making it far into the new year, unfortunately. Like, is already starting off interesting. And then, all the political turmoil that we'll experience this year in America because it's an election year. Like, and who knows what other stuff is going to pop up in between time. But it was like, I think prayer should be a big part of every Christian's life, especially in these days. You were going to say something?
No, go on.
No, I really think it's really, I really think it's going to it should be a part of everyone's life right now, man. Because I mean, the devil out there, bro, and he, to use a metaphor we was using earlier, he ain't letting up.
No.
And he even getting more and more, even as evil in today's day is no longer in the shadows, in multiple realms, in multiple avenues, in multiple things. Like killing is mainstream. Sexual immorality is mainstream. You know what I'm saying? Defying God is mainstream. Like, and literally things that are right are now deemed as wrong, and things that are wrong are now being acceptable. They might not even be right, but they're more acceptable. People are just turning a blind eye to it, And the Bible talked about this in multiple places, whereas, just the mere fact you condone certain these things, you're guilty of the same sins. And man, I think it's time for Christians to like not be as dormant as we have been in the past. And I'm saying that like, well, to love and respect. But, I feel as Christians, like we're supposed to be the light of the world, man. We're supposed to be the light of the world. I mean, you see, like we've talked about it, you've seen videos, man, I don't even really want to play it, but we've seen videos of people like different churches, New Year's services, man, and you might as well have been in the club.
But that video I saw, bro. All right, you say that, right? But people might think you being hyperbolic, bro. But no, bro. It's a video in Atlanta where they are legitimately turning up to the popular nightclub song, Swag Surfing, and everybody doing the dance. And they just turning up, bro. The pastor on stage, everybody doing it, bro. But this is like a club, bro.
Exactly. And here's the thing. People know me, I ain't holier than thou by no stretch of the imaginary, right? But I do believe in the sacredness of church. I was telling Kazi, like, I am the guy who even feels some type of way where people sing or play songs that aren't even really, I wouldn't say bad or rap or anything, that are like let's just say you play like an inspirational song, like Bridge Over Troubled Waters. That ain't even a bad song for real. You know what I'm saying? But you play that in church on the Sabbath. I'm just like, bro, this ain't a Christian song. What you doing? Like,
right.
why we singing this in here?
Bro, I'm the dude who, when I love a Christian song, and by Christian I mean glorifies Christ. It could even be indirectly glorifying Christ, right? Without saying his name, right? I'm the guy that when I learn that this Christian song has sampled a secular song that has nothing to do with Christ in any shape or form, or is directly quoting a Christian song, a secular song, I get turned off and I don't want to participate in that song anymore. And sometimes right now I'm really struggling because part of me feel like, bro, that just can't be right, bro. It can't be. So I'll give you an example. Kirk Franklin has a song, mixed reviews. A lot of people have mixed reviews on Kirk Franklin. Kirk Franklin has a song called Smile.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it hurts, see, I smile.
Mm-hmm.
You look so much better when you smile, right? And it mentions God, but there's the part where it says, "Smile for me, just smile for me." Bro, last week I found out that it's the exact quote, exact melody, everything. Smile for me was a chorus for a Tupac and Ghostface Killer song called Smile, bro. If you listen to the chorus, it goes, smile for me, just smile for me.
I did not know that.
Bro, the exact, and that frustrated me about Kirk because, bro, this was not needed, bro. This was not needed. You did not have to do this, bro. The song is perfectly fine without that, Kirk Franklin famous for doing that. Glory, glory. That's his way of saying baby, baby from Biggie. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's like, bro. And then I also found out that Stomp, bro, was actually is actually supposed to be a secular song for Prince.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, because Kirk Franklin, he was like, he didn't know it either when he got the song. Because that happens in the music industry. People write songs and they shop it around to see what situation works the best. It happens. I ain't tripping off that. I can scratch that one from the record. Because at the end of the day, Stomp, that's growing up to me, that was like a social song. Like you go to a Christian fun event, you know what I'm saying? Not on the Sabbath.
That was like the song we could play to get close to rap.
Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Still be a sanctified church event.
And I like that though. I like being able to touch multiple demographics and genres while still worshiping God. I like that and that's why I'm so upset with the pastor doing the swag surfing in church. Bro, if you had played Do You Want a Revolution, bro, by Kirk Franklin, hopefully that's not tainted. But if you had played that song, I feel like you could have got the same result. Bro, we see videos of college kids at HBCUs, bro. They play Kirk Franklin and everybody going crazy, bro. You understand what I'm saying? You could have got the desired result while still glorifying God, But at the end of the day, I do think that Christians, for a few generations, I want to say like the past 2 generations, and I'm only mentioning these 2 generations because before those generations, the amount of information wasn't as available as we have now. You know what I'm saying? But they have been given a form of Christianity that is really the world while sprinkling Jesus on top. You understand what I'm saying? Like you have people who make rap songs, bro, but they say Christ like once or twice in the song, but they really just bragging about themselves. You know what I'm saying? They still make songs like, God love me so much, and I got the rollie on my wrist, da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, this, you could say this is a gospel song, but to me, I'm not I'm not learning about the good news of God right now, bro. Like, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not even praising, you know? No introspection, none of that. But people have adopted this culture of world, sprinkle Jesus on top, equals Christian. And there's no standard. So in the video, and I think we shouldn't play. I mean, if we want to play the video of it just to see it, but we drop this on the side, but people listen on the side. But
Yeah, we'll drop a link in the description.
right. So in the video, they in the church is a big church, New Year's Eve service, right? And everybody doing their dance, this and that, and the third. And I look through the comments, and a lot of people are saying, bro, they could have been anywhere doing anything, but they in church, bro. We should be happy about that, right? We should be happy that, and it's in Atlanta, they have a safe environment to worship God. And a lot of people do not have a problem with that. And
I go finish the statement.
No, you could speak on that part.
Because my thing is like, okay, that statement I agree with, but my thing is I agree with that statement when there's actually worshiping of God taking place.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when there is no difference between the world and the church, and you bring you bring a pop culture song in the church and be doing the dancing when nothing about this is glorified to God, then you saying they could have been anywhere in the world, but they in church, but they ain't really in church. The church just became a club. So now what are we really talking about? Like, I mean, like, it's like everything in context, right? Now I could see if you're saying, okay, someone just came to New Year's service and we actually like talking about New Year's and they might have come in smelling of alcohol or something, but they could have been anywhere, but they in church, but there's actually worshiping of God taking place. Cool. I accept that. Someone come to church smelling like dope, bro, but they in church and it's church. Bro, I accept it because they literally could have been anywhere else, but they made their way in church. I accept that. But when the church is a club, what are we talking about here, bro? You're just using these cliche lines trying to guilt trip people. But come on, what we actually talking about? And I know it ain't you, but I'm just
no offense taken on it, because you could tell these people do not know the word, but they have such a strong opinion on it, bro. Like I don't care, bro. Like you saying you don't see a problem with it, that. You should know how irrelevant that is, because it don't matter if you see a problem with it. You understand? Does God see a problem with it?
Exactly.
And anyway, love not the world. John 1 John 2:15 through 7 through 16. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but of the world. And that's the King James Version. Text like this, bro, you cannot refute that you are in error as a pastor, as a shepherd of your church, bro, by bringing the world to your church and everybody having fun, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the world. And it soon could get to a point where, it has gotten to a point where the definition of a worldly thing and a Christian thing is blurred.
Super blurred.
It's super blurred, bro. How could y'all not? Anyway, this can't be the same Jesus who was upset while they were selling animals in the temple.
For sacrifice, even.
For sacrifice. But you beat me to it, bro. Think about contextually why they were selling animals in the temple. Because it was the time for the sacrifice. I believe it might have even been Passover time coming up, bro. I ain't sure. But bro, they were selling it to give offering to God. The problem was, this ain't no market. And number two, it's a bunch of haggling going on. It's a bunch of people trying to get the most for their money. So this ain't of God. It's supposed to be of God, but now it's not of God.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus was put a complete end to that. Flip the tables. Get out of here. Y'all this is supposed to be the house of prayer, but you have turned it into a den of thieves.
Yeah.
Some churches, that church should have been a house of prayer, especially on New Year's Eve service, bro. In the Christian community, we spend that time praying, bro. Growing up, all my life, we had communion for New Year's, bro. We lock in, we singing, we praying to bring in the new year. You know what I mean? But y'all inviting Y'all inviting the world, but I ain't even gonna be as extreme. Y'all inviting the world and the things of the world and the leader of the world with y'all that night. You understand what I'm saying? To do these things, bro. Like it's flashy, bro. Like we can't get around that. Can't get around that. And I feel like it's too many signs in the Christian church and in the world that is pointing to a disastrous end, bro. We look around the world. I remember a year ago, I spoke at Vineyard for the first time. I can't even remember what was happening it was it a year ago? When did the conflict with North Palestine,
Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, that was
Russia and Ukraine.
So
that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago now because of
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I might have spoke 2 years ago. Anyway, whenever I had spoke at...
It's a new year. So technically, you said this statement last week, it would have been last year.
Right. Truthfully. So 2 years ago, 2022, I was preaching a sermon and I remembered that when I was about to do my appeal, I mentioned that there's a lot of things going on, right? It's like the world is telling us that things are about to end. Remember, we was going through hyperinflation on groceries. You understand what I'm saying? Like we were seeing random animals in the even last year we were seeing random sharks and stuff in the ocean that they haven't seen in like hundreds of years before, like or they were so high up. Like we see the animals are reacting in a way where it's like, bro, this is fascinating. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? This has been happening for like the past 4 years, bro.
Things happening, bro.
Things happening consistently, bro. And it gets to a point where we perplex for a day, a minute, or an hour. We move on and tell the next thing.
Boy, that's the point right there. We care as long as the news media makes us care.
Right. As long as the news cycle.
Boy, oh boy.
Real talk.
Oh boy.
But now, seriously, bro, if we was to sit down and just make a list of all of the weird things that's happening, it would be so compelling to the point that it should bring alarm. Like, bro, this is not going to end well.
Bro, like, I mean, let's just take it, right? The Bible says there'll be wars and rumors of wars, right? If we just list every conflict that is currently happening in the world. Yeah. Guess what? Russia and Ukraine, they still kind of at war. No one's talking about it anymore since Israel and Hamas. No one's even really talking about Israel and Hamas. Venezuela trying to annex 2/3 of Guyana. No one really talking about that.
That's the crazy one to me.
I know, but the funny thing about it, right? I'm like, anyway, let me stay on topic, right? But I'm like, why y'all ain't care about that, right?
I'm not right now.
Anyway, man, China and Taiwan, a bunch of coup d'etats happening in Africa.
Oh yeah, bro. I can't remember the country, bro. And so I ain't even gonna speak on it. But I just know I've heard of someone from continent of Africa having very great concern as to the media coverage and the backlash that both sides of Israel and Palestine have been receiving while it was so quiet for what's happening in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Bro. So would you define that as wars and rumors of wars?
That's all we having right now, but it's so under the table that no one really talking about it, right? And it's like, man, anyway, you ain't even trying to get conspiracy theory, right? But it's like, man, again, we said this multiple times, like, read the Bible and know what's coming. I think that's one of the most important things. Read Daniel, read Revelation, read Matthew, what is it, Matthew 24, 25, where Christ was talking about, like, here are the signs of the end. Like, read these things, study, because like the Bible tells you what's going to happen. It doesn't give you a date. And anyone who give you a date, lying to you.
Right.
Right? Like the Bible says, no man know the day nor the hour. He tells you that. But he does give you signs of things that shall come to pass before the time of the Son of Man comes.
Exactly.
And you read these things, a lot of these things happening now, earthquakes in diverse places, man. Bro, I saw a video last week of literally a town in Iceland getting split apart because the earth literally moved apart, bro. The new year started off with like multiple earthquakes. They had one earthquake that was 7.6. They had about 10 that was in the 6th range. They had like 50 that was in the 5 range, bro.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Earthquakes are happening all over. Like a couple months ago, Jamaica had an earthquake. Like, bro, the earth is crying out, and some of these signs are coming to pass. But
Right.
again, if you don't know what to expect in the time of the end, these are just like, oh, global warming. I don't know.
Climate change.
No
Like,
slide on global warming, no slide on climate change. But again, if you read a lot of the stuff that's going to happen in the end, it's going to sound like climate change. It's going to sound like global warming.
bro, it does. And so see this, and I'm not saying, oh, the climate change fake, global warming fake. That ain't what I'm saying. I'm saying that people see the earth crying out, right? And there's been more initiative to go green and to have these efforts for climate change among the scientists and people in that field than there has been Christians saying, bro, time to come to Jesus, time to lock in, time to study the word, time to pray. That's the point I'm making. I am more likely to hear somebody say, go green or recycle or climate change or help the environment than I am to hear somebody say, prepare because Jesus is coming. You understand what I'm saying? Understand the prophecies of Daniel and Revelation as instructed by Jesus. Didn't mention Revelation, but Daniel as instructed by Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So when you see when the scientists and people who care about the earth and do all that stuff, I don't know the term for this, but when they see the evidence, they get alarmed and they prepare, right? Or they tell us to prepare. Everybody ignoring it, by the way, and they tell us to prepare, right? In the same way, we should see these signs and do the same thing spiritually, because we know that these are only the beginning of birth pains. This is the beginning of birth pains.
Mm-hmm.
When you start to go into labor, what you do, you could chill on, or you could try to get to the hospital. You understand what I said? What you gonna do? When these things happening, when you see impending doom, what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying this to say like, oh, doom, doom, doom. I'm saying this to say, prepare, understand what is happening, because we are in a world where people ignore sound doctrine, bro. They listen to the things that tingle their ears. People can tell you, oh, it don't matter. I can just be frank, bro. People tell you, bro, it don't matter keeping the Sabbath any day. And as an Adventist, people try to shame you because they say, oh, Adventists care so much about the Sabbath. Bro, I am trying to defend the one commandment that is almost universally broken and justified to be broken. Jesus says, bro, before heaven and earth ends, bro, not one jot or tittle would be removed from this law, bro. Before heaven and earth about to end, bro, we can see the evidence of it, right? But when will heaven end? And when these things end, that's when you could try think about if the commandment's gonna change. But as far as I'm concerned, heaven never gonna end. You understand what I'm saying? Until the end of the earth, until Jesus come back, Jesus say, but ain't nothing changing, bro. Straight up, bro. Straight up. You could bet that ain't nothing changing from his law. The 10 Commandments, which was written in stone. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, you have anything to say or not?
Bro, I agree. I definitely agree, man. Like, oh my, I definitely agree. Like Revelation 16, Matthew 24, like read them.
All right, so I was just trying to buy some time until I pull up this text, right? It's Revelation 12, verse 17, right?
Okay.
And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who kept the commandments of God and of the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is Revelation. This is a future prophecy of the dragon waging war with the offspring. Excuse me. The dragon waging war. Now, let me show you what's so interesting about this. Let's say you don't know Revelation, end time prophecy. Let's say you can't break down what this means. It says the dragon was enraged with the woman. That means one being is enraged with another, right?
Yep.
And went to make war with the rest of the offspring of the woman. Now, if you don't know symbolically what that means, one thing you can deduce is that whoever this dragon is, they're going to war with those who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Why is this dragon so upset with the people who keep the commandments of God? Now we know, now instantly, bro, as I look at this text, this reminds me of Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. I'm about to pull it up right now, bro. It's crazy. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Oh, I on Bible Hub, they make me go verse by verse. Anyway. Oh, I on Genesis 1. Stick with me, y'all, for a second. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. And it's talking about the punishment that, this is right after the fall of humanity, Adam and Eve, everyone, right? It said to the woman, I will sharply increase your pain in childbirth. In pain, you will bring forth children. Your desire will be for your husband. And verse 15.
I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel.
Exactly, right? I will put enmity. So they talking about the serpent and the woman, right? I will put enmity between the serpent and the woman, right? Now in Revelation, we talking to the dragon and the woman, right? Interesting. And they talking about her offspring, right? And then in Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, once again, they talking about this woman and her offspring. And now we know from since Genesis chapter 3, God prophesies that there's going to be enmity between the serpent and the woman. Now in Revelation, we see where the serpent is now described as the dragon, and there's also still enmity between him and the woman, and as well as her seed. But now it says that the dragon will be enraged with her seed who keeps the commandments and has the testimony of Jesus Christ. I say all that to say, bro, if you ever question if the law was done away with or nailed to the cross or any of the things that people commonly try to say, explain to me, why is the devil mad at those still keeping the law? Why is the dragon mad at those still keeping the law during end time prophecy? End times, the times that have not come yet. Like, to me, we say it all the time, bro. Line by line, precept by precept, bro. It have to pass these tests. Some people take things and it sounds like, to them, I believe, it sounds like God has given them license to live as freely as they want to live. Oh, it's only 2 laws you got to keep. You got to love God with all your heart. You got to love your neighbor as yourself. Oh, but did you see the text right after it that says, on these 2 laws hang all of the law? You understand what I'm saying? God is not giving us a license to throw away the law. No, it's time to keep the law. But we live in a world now where people do their best to omit the law, to change the law, to live without the law, and they call it Christianity. But if we just look around, if we see the way animals moving, if we see the way the world moving, if we see the way humans are acting towards each other, and we compare that to what God is telling us, this is definitely a wake-up call to get more serious and to lock in with God. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22 and 23. The Lord's mercies are renewed every day, which translate to every month, which translate to every year. And it's because of his mercies that we are forgiven, that we have opportunity, and that we can improve. So let's make the best of this year and take the initiative to be closer to God than we have before. Remember to go ahead and research on your own in order to get a more firm understanding of tonight's episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can follow us on social media at Abreathoffreshairpod on Instagram and BOFAPOD on Twitter. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next week.